The Aleuts called it Alyeska, the Great Land. With more coastline than all the other states combined. 100,000 glaciers. And North America's tallest mountain. A land with 3,000 rivers. And 3 million lakes. It is Alaska, the land of the midnight sun. Native legends teach us about the creation of Alaska and tell us how the animal spirits came to be. Here on the northern edge of the world, mighty glaciers patiently carved a land unlike any other, millions of years in the making. Alaska is blessed with a landscape that seems to go on forever, including more national parklands than all the other states combined. So there's plenty of room to find a private place, or just explore. It is a land so rich in history that sometimes it's hard to tell exactly where the past ends and the future begins. It is a world of natural wonders, where the last ice age still lingers. Where coastal rainforests hide in the mist. Where water becomes a roadway. And even small mountains touch the sky. For centuries, people have come to Alaska drawn by some instinct they could not explain. Listen, can you hear a voice calling as Alaska whispers on the wind? The first Alaskans arrived some 30,000 years ago. They came from Siberia, using a land bridge that no longer exists. They explored this strange new land and stayed to call it home. Today, the voices of Alaska's first residents still echo in music, dancing, and artwork. It is a living heritage, embracing the Eskimos and the Aleuts, the Athabascans of the Heartland, and Northwest coastal Indians. In the last century, Russia claimed Alaska, but finally sold the territory to the United States for a little over $7 million. The Russian influence remains strong in Alaska, where towns like Kosilov, Nikiski, and Sitka resonate with the Russian language and many people still practice the old ways. Today, a new generation of explorers comes to admire the natural wonders that make Alaska unique in all the world. The adventure begins the minute you decide you're going to go. Whether you are an independent traveler or prefer the companionship of a group, your trip to Alaska is full of possibilities. If you just can't wait to get started, come by air. Major airlines can bring you to Alaska within hours. Or you can travel at a slower pace, sailing through the spectacular Inside Passage. You'll see fjords carved by ancient ice and soaring bald eagles. If you cruise on the Alaska Marine Highway, you'll be able to bring along your car or motorhome for adventures on shore. Many people enjoy cruising one direction and then driving the other way. The famous Alaska Highway is now more than 50 years old and fully paved all the way from the lower 48 states to the final mile in Fairbanks. The highway can be traveled year-round with every amenity available en route. Other highways can take you to many parts of Alaska, and if you didn't come by car, you can always rent a vehicle in most cities and towns. The Alaska Railroad is another popular choice for travel through truly spectacular scenery. Tour companies have private rail cars to carry you through the wilderness in complete comfort. Since Alaskans like to live in the most scenic areas, some towns can only be reached by boat or plane, including Juneau, our state capital. Throughout Alaska, you'll find a selection of high-rise hotels, motels, cozy inns, and private bed and breakfasts. You can even arrange to spend some time at a true wilderness lodge. Private campgrounds, state and federal parks offer all the amenities to make travel easy and give you lots of free time to enjoy yourself. So now that you're here, what do you want to do first? Want to get away from it all? Really far away? Maybe go shopping or take a walk. There's something fun for everyone who comes to Alaska. You could find yourself running the rapids, exploring the waterfront, or creating your own excitement. How about reeling in some of Alaska's famous halibut? Every corner of Alaska is filled with discoveries waiting to be made and fascinating shops to explore. Fun on the last frontier doesn't stop when you go indoors. You'll find plenty of Alaskan history at local watering holes, in small-town art galleries, and big city museums. Or you can step back in time and take your place aboard a real stern-wheeler. You can cheer for the hero and hiss at the villain in a vintage melodrama. Or admire some beautiful can-can girls in a Gold Rush saloon. Alaska's Gold Rush days aren't over yet. Gold dredges still stand as reminders of a time when millionaires were made overnight. You can even try panning for gold yourself. Maybe you'd rather spend a day at the beach, if you can find a spot that isn't already taken. Or you can enjoy one of the many soft adventures waiting just outside your door. No matter where you go in Alaska, food is a full-time temptation. Alaskans like to eat well, especially when it comes to seafood. And there's always room at the table for one more guest. A hearty breakfast is a great way to prepare for vigorous outdoor activities, like fishing. Alaska's rainbow trout can top 40 pounds, so we usually let the little ones go. Many Alaskan streams and rivers are fed by the melting snows of soaring mountains. And the greatest of all is Mount McKinley, standing watch in the center of a 6 million acre wildlife preserve. Guided tours can show you many of the animals living in the preserve, including moose, wolves, and bears. Here on the edge of wilderness, you can stay in a luxury resort or find your own favorite spot. It's easy to explore Alaska, no matter where you go or how you get there. You'll probably want to buy a few presents for friends back home, and you'll be able to find special gifts for everybody on your list. If you really want to impress folks, how about sending a whole salmon or some reindeer sausage? And don't forget a little something for yourself. There is so much to see and do in Alaska that you'll want to plan ahead. But plan to come soon, because now that you've heard Alaska whisper on the wind, it won't be long until you find yourself wanting to answer. A century ago, Robert Service captured the lure of Alaska in his closing lines for The Call of the Wild. They have cradled you in custom. They have primed you with their preaching. They have soaked you in convention through and through. They have put you in a showcase. You're a credit to their teaching. But can't you hear the wild? It's calling you. Let us probe the silent places. Let us seek what luck betide us. Let us journey to a lonely land I know. There's a whisper on the night wind. There's a star, a gleam to guide us, and the wild is calling, calling. Let us go. Alaska. Send for a free copy of Alaska's Vacation Planner, packed with more than 100 pages of facts and advice to help you enjoy your visit to Alaska.